everybody, and welcome to another episode of Conversations with Dams. As I mentioned in the last video, I said I was going to start with the education series, seeing that there's been so much issues, worries on the part of parents and all of that. So I decided to start the education series, and I brought her, my very best guest that can talk about education. First. Let me read the profile, and then she will now do a formal introduction again. So my guest today, I'm not going to say her name, but she's an experienced teacher or educator with over 10 years experience. She's the host of your favorite teacher podcast series. If you've not listened to that podcast, I mean, what are you listening to? How are you training your children? Let me understand, but let me continue. Anyway, and then she's also a coach. She's a personal development coach, and she's the lead consultant for Pursuit of Excellence, which helps to guide parents to raise exceptional children. Back in school, I attended the same school I attended in Babcock, where she studied political science. I hope I'm correct on that, yes. And then she bagged her PhD, telling me it was, and she's telling us it was right now. And she's also an author of several books, including A Tribute to God and Humanity, and then the latest baby on the block, which is The Adventures of David and His Mighty Friends. Now, we're going to get to that part of the book in a minute, but she's also a wife, she's a mom, I said she's a coach, she's a teacher, she's an educator, she's a mentor. How many things have I counted right now? Tell me. Many things I've counted, but it's so good to welcome you, Dr. Oluwayemisi Apepoju Awodele. Ooh, I'm wearing the red carpet.
Thank you so much, Dami.
Thank you so much for doing this with me. First, I know I've missed plenty things, so please introduce yourself and let people know that I know people in this life. I know people.
Well, thank you so much, Dami. You basically said most of it, but particularly at the moment, I work with the city council in the United Kingdom. I work in a referral unit where kids that have been excluded from the mainstream schools are being referred to, and most of them has been diagnosed with some learning disabilities, and some of them also have what we call SEMH, which is social, emotional, and mental health challenges. So some of them have been involved in all sorts. Anything you can think of is what they've been involved in, and we still are laden with our responsibilities of teaching them maths, English, science, and making sure that they pass their GCSE, and that's the goal, to ensure that irrespective of their past, irrespective of where they've been and what has happened to them, past trauma, experiences, and mistakes, they are able to get at least a GCSE.
Wow.
Yeah.
That must, before we even jump right into that, that must be a whole lot of commitment, patience.
Yeah, perseverance.
Yes, resilience.
Zeal.
So many things. Just
passion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Passion to be able to
And
do.
you must not get frustrated easily, because they'll frustrate you.
I mean, just even teaching kids that understand everything is a lot.
It's frustrating sometimes, but imagine that level when you have high level of, you're teaching a child with high level of ADHD and also has some mental health issues and has social problem like relating with others, and you still have to get that child to learn maths, English, science, art, food and nutrition, physical education. Yeah.
Teachers Day need to be every day in a
Yes,
year.
every day. Literally, I tell myself every day, Happy Teachers Day.
It can't be more. It can't
Every day.
be one
It can't
day.
be one day. It's too. How can you say Teachers Day is one day? Like, how? It has to be like every day.
Okay.
Yes.
let's pack that aside for a bit and
Yeah.
back to the beginning. How did you get into education in the first? Like, what were you like as a child? Why did you decide this education thing? I like it. Or I like my teacher, or maybe you don't have wicked teachers like me. I had.
Okay.
Teachers were not-
Wicked is relative. So, well, if you don't know this before, my parents were educators. So my mom was a teacher, my dad had schools or has schools. So my late parents were educators,
Wow.
and so my mom was an ed teacher growing up as a child.
So you had
So
to
we
give them
usually have
maybe
tutor programs, what they call lesson, extra lesson.
yeah,
Remember extra lesson back
yeah,
home in
yeah.
Nigeria, and so it's done right in my house. And then my mom will say, okay, assist this person to finish up their work. That's where I started from.
Imagine.
So literally, I started teaching from the age of 8 because my mom was not so interested in me being domesticated. She wanted me to be educated. So my strength is more of using my brains,
Yeah,
thinking,
yeah.
relating. So my mom gave me that extra responsibility of making sure that my younger siblings' assignments were done correctly
Mhm.
and they were studying hard. So
Wow.
she would tell me if they failed in school, it's on me.
Wow. At 8.
Yeah. So I would make sure that they attended extra lessons, they finished their assignments, and made sure that they were on top of everything as regards their academics.
Wow.
So I started teaching, and then from there I moved to church. I started to so because I was an avid reader, I read the Bible back to back as a child, like when you're just reading,
Mhm.
and then whenever we move to a new area and I go to a
Yes.
new church and they set exams for me, I'll just ace everything because obviously I know everything. And so they'll say, oh, what I'm going to do with you, like because I was that problematic child that there's a category of learning, of learner, which is called the problematic learner. This problematic learner knows everything, so that problematic learner is ahead of everyone
Oh,
in
so
class.
it's not like a bad, like,
No, it's
oh,
not a
you
bad thing.
that's the
So
car.
the child is ahead, and that's
Oh,
why they put children in sets. Like in the UK, here we have set one, set two.
oh,
So
interesting.
those in set one, they're actually high flyers. They don't need too much prompting to do
Hmm.
work.
Hmm.
Yeah. So in church, so one church I attended, they said, okay, what, can you teach the toddlers? And then I think I was 12. So I started teaching children
Wow.
in church at the age of 12.
You were
So,
born for this.
but if you had told me that I was gonna be a teacher, I'm like, God forbid. And I usually tell my mom that, mom, this work you are doing, no, I cannot do it. I'm sure that if she could have a word with me now from heaven, she'd be like, Shiba, I told you. This,
Oh,
I
maybe
told you so.
oh,
Yeah, and so it's so I didn't know that I was actually towing that line. I actually wanted to become um a journalist, and then my dad said, what's that? And then and he said I should go and read law. So I tried to read law in Babcock, but I think that time it was not accredited as of
yeah,
that time,
then,
remember? And
yes.
so I had to do political science so that I can transit to law. And then I was doing so well in political science. My HOD said, where are you going? I will now transfer my best students from political science to no, you're
Yeah.
not going. So then I started to like it, and I started to progress, and then I was like, okay, I was going to go into lecturing and everything, but um COVID-19 was a turning point for me.
Mm,
When we were all locked down, and I started to have this unrest about how parents were raising their children,
yeah.
not just in terms of moral or spirituality. I was actually um I was actually um, bothered about the way parents treated their children's academics.
Mm,
Yeah, and so I started to write in that direction, do Instagram posts, and I was a lecturer. I was teaching, young adults.
yeah.
But even then, it was a sorry case of how parents treated their children's learning
Yeah.
with levity, and I'm like, and So I started to journal. I journal a lot. So I started to write down my ideas, vent. So when I cannot vent my hunger or rant to somebody, I rant in my journal. Like, look at
Yeah.
what just happened today and everything. And so I started doing that line, and then coming to the UK, um, I found myself, I knew it was God that just tailored me. I started my first job was a care worker, a support worker, and then I found myself saying, "Oh, talking to the clients, do you need help with your academics?" And I started to tutor
Wow.
them in the care home, and then from there, that job actually put my foot in the door for this job that I'm doing at the moment. Yeah.
That is one story.
So yeah, studying my master's, PhD, I wanted to be like a lecturer, a professor. I still wanna, but I feel like my passion is more, and my purpose is more towards the younger children,
Hmm.
like catching them young,
Yeah.
getting them to do the right thing and be on the right path early in life. And I have this theory that if you're not able to instill values, if you're not able to tailor
Right.
your child's growth and pattern from the age of 0 to 10 years, it will take the message of God to actually get that child back on track to actually regain lost time. Yes, there's nothing God cannot do, we know,
Hmm.
but then there is actually a role for us as parents
Yeah.
to do, to play
Hmm.
in ensuring that our children turn out right. And so I'm so passionate. I literally, when I was younger, and I'm not old by the way. When I was younger, I'll see all these children on the streets, where my dad used to live. Why you not in school? I'm not paying my school fees. I'll literally like empty my bank account. Okay, go back to school. Just go back to school. I also volunteer for various NGOs that are education inclined, and I've been with them for the past 7 years, mentoring children, raising funds to send children back to school, and so many things that I do. I don't think it can fit in this conversation.
I mean,
We'll talk more.
definitely from all that you said, first of all, you were born for this. It runs from in the family. That's clear.
Yeah, and it's so funny that my grandfather was a principal.
Oh,
My mom's dad, so he was one of the foremost principals in Abeokuta, and so they used to call my grandpa Baba teacher. So you know, so so when I mentioned his name, they say, "Ah, you the grandchild of SS Coca." Yeah,
oh,
so
wow.
yeah,
Wow.
it's in the blood.
Yeah, definitely from all you said. And it's a good thing that you knew that early, because I know that's one of the things when you talk to people. I'm not even talking about children now, just talk to people in general. Everybody's like, what is my purpose? What is my purpose?
Mm,
That's one thing people really struggle with. What was I born to do? What was I born to do? You find someone who is 30 something for something has no clue or idea of why they are here on earth. They just think, oh, just to pay bills, go to work. That's the easy,
mm,
go to work, pay bills. So I'm really amazed. I'm delighted that you really caught that early, and then you had people to fan that flame
mhm.
and push you sort of in that direction, which is, I mean, it's very interesting and good to hear. I hope that people are able to listen and begin to channel their children's strength. You need to see it now first. And even if you don't know, ask God for it. You definitely, the Bible says we show us great and mighty things that we do not know. So
Yeah.
you need to give us that blueprint and say, this is what this child is going to do. And we need to just align and tailor what we need to do or find that plane for that child to be able to fly. Wow, that's really amazing. So I think my next question based on that is, what does it actually now mean to be an educator? Is it just, oh, I'm a teacher, I teach? Is that what that means? What does it really actually mean to be, or maybe I'll say a godly educator, if we want to bring that in, to just person that's it's more than
Okay, well, first of all, in my first book, I wrote a book. My first book, titled "Teaching a Service to God and Humanity."
yeah.
So that title in itself is telling us that teaching is a calling.
Yes.
Don't forget that the five. I'm a Christian educator, by the way, so I tend to put God, Holy Spirit in, and so I'm telling you the context from which I'm speaking.
Yes.
So the fivefold ministry, you find out that teacher is actually one of them.
Yes. Yes.
After the pastor, prophet, apostle, evangelist, there's the teacher. So that's to say that the role of a teacher transcends the classroom. Yeah. Sometimes I find myself praying for my students.
Wow.
Yeah. So sometimes you carry their burdens. There was a time I used to have this student back home in Nigeria. She was going through some health challenges, and I used to pray for her. She used to call me. She used to come to my office, and we pray together, and I would just encourage her.
Yeah.
And then she had an operation done, and then she went into coma. And she went into coma, and when 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 she woke up calling my name actually.
Wow.
And she was like, I was calling her to wake up. That where am I? Her mom was like, she's not here. Yo, who is Auntie MC? Auntie MC is not here. She said, but she was calling me.
Wow.
So it's spiritual. It's a calling, it's a ministry. So it's not just to go to school, study education, and just no. You must have a vested passion about the children that your God has actually committed. Don't forget that there was this organogram God showed me. After God, in the scheme of the family scheme, yeah. After God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit, then He will partner with the parents, the father and the mother, to bring this child. But between the father and the mother and the child, there is an intermediary, which is the teacher. Take for instance, how many hours do you spend with your children? I'm talking productive hours that you spend with your children. So, for example, your children's school, they resume at 8. Yeah, isn't it?
Yeah, or
So,
say
or 8:30, let's say 9. They go from 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. That's 7. Can you stay with your child for 7 hours? Like back to back.
No.
You would have sent them, go and wash plates, go and go and find something to do.
Yeah.
Do you understand? It's only a teacher that has that. After that time, don't forget, when they come back, they're tired, they want to take a shower, have lunch, do the assignments, watch TV, and before you know it, it's bedtime. You do their devotional with them and they go to bed. So you've not had like 3 hours with them. Like
I've
3.
never thought of it that way.
Yeah, that's it. So it's only the teacher that is privileged to have that time with the child.
So that means if a teacher is, for lack of a better word, demon possessed or something,
sorry,
have that.
That's it.
Oh
yeah,
my.
because that teacher or the teachers, they have access to this child, not just the intellectual, but the physical, social, emotional, spiritual. Yeah. And so one of the people that encouraged me are my teachers. I had fantastic teachers while growing up. They were strict in my own terms, but growing up, I felt growing up retrospecting.
Yeah.
I can see that they actually had my best interest.
Doing the best, yeah.
Yeah. So you see that being an educator is not just to teach arithmetic, English language, teach politics. I can teach politics. I can actually teach politics, but there are sometimes that when you come into classroom, you're ready to teach. You've done your teaching outline. Everything is ready. Your PowerPoint is ready to teach, and then you're reading the room, and you can see that this child is not smiling. You read the room, and you're seeing that, oh, this child is not, as bubbly, and this child is looking sad, and you don't carry on teaching. Why are you going to teach? You're teaching above the child's head. So how are you? Let's say for instance, Dennis. Dennis, how you doing? I'm good. I'm not feeling well. This and that. You take time out. Okay, can we speak after class and everything? Sometimes you can say, okay, you look flustered. Do you want to take 5 minutes out of the lesson? Those ones, they are not part of what you even actually meant to do as a teacher, like teaching, impacting knowledge and everything. And then one of the things that has helped me again in this special needs line and everything, it has helped me to see beyond the conventional teaching that we have actually been used to, exposed to. And it has now made me to realize that even the children that were called laid back, in quote olodo, they were not actually olodo. Some of them had struggles. They could not concentrate. Some of them had spelling spelling problems. Some of them, their handwriting is just like writing, Arabic or something.
Yeah.
So maybe they needed a kind of intervention or the other.
Hmm.
But for lack of knowledge, for lack of exposure, we have
Funding. So
we have like name tagged them, and we have relegated them to the background, and we have said that nothing good can come out of the Nazareth. So there's a lot. The world of teaching is evolving. So it's not, so if you've been a teacher in 1960, I'm sorry, your teaching method, your teaching pedagogy cannot work in this area, in this era, in these modern times.
yeah.
So being an educator is first of all, it has to be a calling. You
Hmm.
cannot do it for the money. You cannot get paid enough.
Hmm.
You cannot get paid enough. Even if all teachers will say, okay, you are paying £5,000 per month, you can't pay enough. Are you gonna put a price on your the prayers you pray over the child,
True.
the guidance, the counseling, the moral
Your
support?
parents to take care of that.
You're actually parenting the child
Yes.
for their parents, and so how much are you gonna pay? So it's actually priceless. So you can't do it for the money, you can't do it for prestige, because I mean, teachers are not really um acknowledged in the
Yeah.
society,
Definitely.
because yeah, you're just a teacher, yeah. But you cannot do it for the money, you cannot do it for this prestige, you cannot do it for you cannot do it for personal reasons. You cannot just do it because you want to have access to children. No, you cannot do it. Even sometimes it's not, you cannot do it because it's a hobby. Sometimes you will not like it, but then you have to do it.
That.
So it's not for hobby. It's not, teaching is not a hobby. It's a calling. It's your purpose. You need to have entered purpose. So that's why we see some frustrated teachers. Why? Because they came in for the money, and they are getting more than what they bargained for. And so they're saying, so they can't back out because they need the money,
Yeah.
and they are not comfortable being in because they don't really like teaching.
Yeah. So it's the kids that eventually suffer for it at
Yes.
the end of the day.
Yes.
Wow.
So being an educator is a lot. You need to go and read my book to see that there is a whole lot more to being a teacher. It's a lot. It's a lot. I remember the teacher is able to give a parent a feedback to work on at home. I
Yes.
say that's why I always say to parents on my Instagram videos, like, don't fight with your children's teachers. There's no point becoming their enemy.
Yeah.
You're just shooting yourself in the leg.
That's true.
You
That's
need to befriend them. No, you need to ask them, okay, so what do I need to push my child to this certain level? What do I need to, to do at home to complement what you're doing in the school? Because obviously they can't do everything. And
true.
the sorry case about this all is that parents, these new generational parents are leaving everything to teachers. As long as they've paid school fees, or the child is enrolled in the school, they believe that it's the teacher's job. No, it's not. The onus is on you, parents. Teachers are just doing their bit. They're just
Yes,
intermediaries
yes, exactly.
who God has deposited or assigned to help you in your parenting journey.
That's true. That's true. I mean, it's just like when people used to say, "Oh, we'll send them to Sunday school to go and learn." No, the first job is with you. The Sunday school is just an addition.
Don't open that chapter, please. Don't let us go there. I also teach in church, so don't even. Don't go there.
It's not only about that. Like, you have the first job. You are the one to do it. All the other things are just addition and all of that.
Yeah.
Which just really ties nicely to something I posted on my Instagram today. Like, Damnola Mike Bamiloye was talking about how when he was young, he don't spell. I mean, everybody was like, "What's wrong with you? Are you okay?" He was 24 already. Not to have been speaking by this time. And he wasn't speaking. So I just say cast, he can't say it. But the day somehow he was doing a drama with his brother, and then he was dramatizing. He was standing somewhere, it was like the pastor or something, and then all of a sudden he got to a scripture that was for God so loved the world, and he read it completely. So which meant that his own teaching style was different from every other child, but nobody should just notice. Why is it that you're not picking things up? Because straight jacket way in education, sadly, where everybody is taught to sit down. Some kids don't learn in groups.
Yeah, some kids don't learn with, some kids learn with music.
Yeah.
Sometimes if some children, if you say come here, they won't come. But if you say come here, you sing it, they'll come.
You're so right.
They'll come. They'll come.
Right.
And that's a teacher, you're everything. You're a nurse, you're an artist, you're a drama minister, you're a song, you will make sure that you tailor your lesson to the needs of your children.
Yeah.
The children that you're teaching.
Wow, I mean, you said a lot, and then we've also mentioned the fact that teaching is just teachers basically are the, well, let's say, second parents sort of for your child when you are away and all of that. So right now in the 21st century, now that you touched on it when you were talking, who does a parent need to become in this 20? Because we can't parent the way our parents parented us. It will not work. It will not work. So who does a parent need to become to attend to the needs of the children that we have now?
Is it in terms of discipline and correction?
Yes, just in terms of discipline, even in terms of even just their education. You can't just be telling them, read this math, read this one, read that English. No, why don't you know perimeter? Why don't you know area? How do we need to be? What do we need to do? What skills do we need to develop in just making sure that we raise a wholesome child in their education? And then in terms of discipline and all of that, what do we do? We know that in the UK, there's always cry of, oh, you can't do this to a child, you can't do that to a child. So what do we do? How do we still raise balanced children who are disciplined and who will still grow up?
Okay, the first thing for every parent is that you need to be emotionally intelligent. And what is emotional intelligence? Is the ability to manage, to understand. The 4 pillars of emotional intelligence is self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, social management. So once you're aware of your emotions and the way they run, you're able to manage yourself. So the first thing is yourself. So that's what I'm saying. To be an intentional parent, you need to start from yourself.
Yeah.
The concept of the self. Who are you? Who am I? So you want to be an intentional parent, you don't even know yourself, you don't know your purpose, you don't know why you're here. How are you going to now steward the gift that God has deposited on the inside of your child? That's one. So self. Manage yourself. I can't see you, Dami. Can you see me?
I can. Okay, I think it's up now. Yeah, I think it was just a bit of network, but I can hear you now.
Okay. So you need to manage yourself, understand yourself and your emotions, understand the emotions of that child. So like I always say, there is a blueprint for every child.
Correct.
So the way you raise this child and teach this child is different from the way you teach the other. There's some children that once you tell them one thing, they've gotten it. There's no need to overflog the issue. Once you explain something to them and you ask them, do you understand? Can you repeat what I've just said to you? Do you really understand what I'm trying to tell you now? And the child says yes, they've understood. While some children, you would take time, you would have to develop, you have to how will I say it? You have to develop graphics, images, songs, animations, so many things to pass one single message to that child. And that doesn't make that child lesser than the other. They just have different learning capacities and capabilities. So you see some children that are so vocal, they spoke on time, they everything, but you notice that their emotional strength is low. While some children, they are not eloquent in speech, yet they know what to do. They know how to handle themselves in public. They know basic poise and etiquette tips. They know, they are just the model children, but in some areas they are still struggling. But there's a point in the life child that the child will actually catch up. So the first thing is that You need to know yourself. You need to know your children. You need to sit with God to get the blueprints for each child, to know which child, what each child carries, what they carry. And you also need to and then you need to be multi-dimensional. So sometimes you can be at prayer times, you are their priest. You are teaching them values. You are a teacher. You are their mother. And then when you need to listen to them and hear their grievances, then you be their friend. Yes. So you play multiple roles. Sometimes you're a counselor, you're a mother, yes, you're a counselor. Or there are sometimes your children just need you to listen and pay attention. So sometimes, like I said in the beginning, you need to have built a relationship with your children from the get-go, even from the womb. So some of us now, okay, we have new generational parents, yes, of parents. We have children, and then many of us nannies are training our children. And we are going to chase the money, the bag. You're a successful businesswoman. She's this, she's that. She's on Forbes 30 under 30. This, and you're nothing to your child. You're nothing to your child. Your child doesn't know you. You come in at 11, the child is sleeping. You dash out at 5:30, your child is yet to be awake. Weekends, you want to catch sleep because you're sleep deprived. Or you're on your phone or you're on social media, and you've just switched on the TV for them to while away their time there while you do your thing, or you lock them out of the room.
Go there. Let's leave that TV. That's a different conversation.
And you don't really have a relationship with your child. Yes, you pay their school fees, you take them for expensive holidays, you buy them nice clothes, nice shoes. They have everything, yet they have nothing. Do you have it? Sometimes some children say, I'm going to call your mom. She said, my mom don't care. My mom is never around.
Wow.
Yeah. Now let me I'm sure that a parent listening to me say, well, we need to work, we need to, in the word also, to ensure that ends we make ends meet here and take care of these children and everything. But what happened to, I remember my mom used to work so many jobs just to make ends meet. But when she comes back and she's making dinner, we used to have these small stools. You know, Yoruba people call it apoti. We used to have it plenty in the kitchen. You will sit down, you'll be doing your assignment, and she's turning never. She said, read it out, let me be here, and let me hear 2 times 2. If you say 2 times 3 is like 5, she look at you like this. You quickly arrange yourself, because you know that honesty can actually land on your cheek.
Land on you.
Yeah, so she'll be like, okay, so that time is bonding time. Even when she's busy, in the midst of that business, she still find out and say, hey, so what did you do in school? I heard this one, this one. Mom, that's not it. Did you know what happened? We will not be gisting now. Do you know what happened in the street today? This one, we will now talk. Then from that, she's able to correct our grammatical errors. She say it's not have, it's as. She just, okay, yeah, give me the structure of present, past tense, past participle. We'll start that one. Another lecture will start. Then she will now say, okay, she'll go and get me a book. She'll put in, oh yeah, read it loud. Let me see spellings, the way you read, and don't read straight. Observe punctuation marks, like that. That's how I learned. Wow. My mom was a busy mom, very busy, 100%. She was busy, but she had my time. In the midst of the business. And when she noticed that I was becoming a teenager, she bought me a complete thing, different books, and she would ask me to read it, and then we'd talk about it, and I would ask questions, and like that, we were able, and she was able to share our own experience that, oh, she made a mistake in this area, in this area, in this area. And that was what guided me, even when she passed on when I was 18. You know, it was our experience, reliving our experience, made me know that this, no, I'm not going down this road. My mom has gone down this road, and she has told me it didn't pan out well. So if I know we are busy, but sometimes even when we are praying, you say, get out of the room and praying, let them be there. Let them be there. Children, in the midst of mimicking when you are praying in tongues, they actually come into it.
Yes, that's true.
They actually come into it.
Yes.
There's this song, I'm Talking to Jesus, by this is it Elevation choir or something. This talking to Jesus. I was. He said he met his dad prayer and said, "I'll come back later." I said, "No, come back. You have come at the right time." It seems what a friend we have in
I've been saying that. Yes, I'm
Jesus.
trying to remember.
Oh, so
Yeah.
when you listen to that words, he said, um, I can see you've got a lot on your mind. I'll come back. He said, no, 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 don't come back later. You have come at the right time. And now the child is talking to Jesus because he has seen you talking to Jesus. Because your child is seeing you constantly pray. Well, now, okay, I think there's somebody else my mom talks to when she's in need. They that experience will help your children to go to God for help.
That's true.
So you say, oh, I'm having prayer, I'm having fellowship. People, you take your child to church and you give your child a big tablet and say, yeah, be playing game while the word of God is going on. Listen, and then you can enjoy. What did the pastor say today? Mommy, what that big word that pastor, what's the meaning? Then you start to explain, and then you begin to get their perspective about God. Some people don't even know what their children think about God.
True. It's so true. That's so true. I mean, for us, dressing up time is a conversation time.
Yeah, to school, to church.
When they're dressing up, that's how most times we just different ideas. I'm talking different ideas, different things that they come out just to understand, like, what do we even think about this?
God, yeah. You just you ask, and sometimes, when you have certain habits, when you have the habit of saying thank you, Jesus, you find your child saying it.
Yes.
At every, so you are the mirror that your child is looking at. When you mirror Christ, when you mirror, when you mirror excellence, your child will have no other, reason to be less than that. They will even want to be better than you. So parenting in this generation takes God, it takes intentionality. You need to say, I'm getting it right. I'm raising excellent children. I'm raising champions. I am making sure that my children are going to turn out well. Because at the end of the day, we are accountable for these children that God has given us. Even though if you like, I know the Pope can't have children, but even if you're a general overseer and your children didn't turn out well, you will answer for it. And the last week I was reading the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 2 and chapter 3, about Eli and his children, Ophni and Phinehas. And I was like, imagine what bad parenting did. It took away a grace of priesthood from a generation, from a family, and gave it to another person that had no priesthood in his lineage. And what was Eli's problem? It's not like he didn't work perfect before God. It was not like he was stealing. It was his children.
Yeah.
It was his children, and he was not able to caution them and teach them. They didn't fear the Lord over familiarity with the Lord. So if you're a clergyman or a clergywoman watching this, I know you are close to God and you hear God and you see so many, you encounter God in different dimensions. But please come down from the heavens and be a father and a mother.
I like that. Come down from the heavens.
Come down from the realm or from the realm and actually be human and relate with your children. Some of us, we give 10 commandments in the house. Don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, without reasons. And the children that we are giving birth today are inquisitive generation.
Yes.
Asking questions.
Yes. So true.
Asking questions. So you just gave rules and regulations without explanation, without a reason, without consequence. Yeah. I mean, it's a lot.
Yes, it's a lot. I mean, someone was saying parenting has no manual, and I don't buy it. I said
manual. You go and sit with God though. For your own manual.
Your own manual.
For your own child.
Yes.
For that child, not children.
Yes, not
child.
children.
Because what you do for child A is different from child B.
Yeah, true. So if you have 5 children, you have to be 5.
You will see though. That's why to have plenty children now. You have to, unless God is sending you on that message, unless God is asking you to have
to those
Unless when you're having such number of children, I mean, God is giving you degrees
yes
to do that, because you need to actually, and that's why when you read the book of the book of Genesis, when Isaac when Jacob was blessing his children, he knew his children in total, even the things that they did that they thought he did not know. Look at what Reuben did. So he knew them. So he was blessing them according to their personalities, according to the call of God upon their lives, according to their mandates, according to the gifts on the inside of them, one after the other. He did not say, "Who is this one?" No, he did not stutter. He actually downloaded heaven's mind for each child.
Oof, that is so good. I mean, I'm just remembering when you were saying, Dan, you dip your feet in oil. This one, oh my God.
You need to go back to read that scripture where he was actually blessing them one after the other. The book of Exodus, one after the other, blessing them. Tailor, go. You see that the blessing for A was not blessing for B.
Blessing for B.
It was tailor made for each child.
Wow.
So there's a lot of work for us to do as parents. There's a lot of work. Everyone, including me, everyone, every day. One of my prayers, Lord, I receive grace to steward the gift of the inside of my child. I receive grace to understand my child. I receive grace to, to not get in the way of what you're doing with my child. Because sometimes we have plans for our children, and sometimes we have good plans. Our intentions are right, but are they God's? Are they God's?
Yes.
Is that what God wants?
You're so right.
I know in our generation, our parents wanted us to be doctors, lawyers, but I don't think I have such plans for my child. I don't even know what he wants to become. My own is, as long as you are following God, as long as you know God, you will know what to do. The rest is, the rest is a given. Your relationship with God is constant. It should be constant. Then the rest will enter. They will enter formation. So I'm not going to say, if you say you want to go and study music, no problem. You want to dance, you want to swim, you want to play football. I'm not so hell-bent on you getting a particular degree. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because make sure that you're doing God's will.
Yeah.
That's what scripture says. You have come into the volume of books that was written concerning you to do God's will.
Exactly. I mean, when my kids, sometimes when they see me do all this, my conversation podcast, and they're like, "Oh, mommy, you're gonna be famous. Oh, mommy, you're a celebrity." I said, "Calm down, wait, calm down." Dunamis was telling me, I said, "Calm down first. Just calm down. This thing is for the glory." I'm quick to say and add, it is not about me or what I am saying. I need to tell them it is about for the glory of God. This is what God has called me to do. And that's what I'm doing. So sometimes when they even see my views, I'm like, "Mommy, the people did not listen to this one." I said, it's not about the likes. Forget the likes.
Even if it's one person. I remember I was like, this might be Instagram was not even going this. But one person reached out to me to say, I love that video that you sent. In fact, it was a lifesaver. I was like, So it's not about 1 million views. How many people are getting that impact? Is it how many people is it blessing?
Yes.
Yeah. So if it's by I should be in millions now. It's not by that though. It's just by doing, reaching one person at a time.
That's true. That's true. I mean, in the beginning, I used to be so, oh my God, I'm not monetized. Oh, this one, I don't have views, but I just had to calm down and say, you know what? If it's one person that this video has reached, and maybe that was what the person it was intended for, fine. It's fine. I don't have to meet 10,000 people that it wasn't even intended for. If it was just one, if it was 10, if it was 20, it's okay. It's fine. We'll start from there. It's not everybody that is going to do global ministry. Some people might just be in that
in one corner,
and God will still tell them, well done, because that is what He has assigned to them. So it's about knowing what you've been assigned to, and then again, going back to what you said about the parents knowing themselves. I think you are so spot on. So as parents, if we need to deal with trauma, deal with it right now. If we need
therapy. It's not everything that blood of justice is able to do all things, but let me know. It's not everything that is village people.
Something to just
bind, I cast. It's good to bind and cast. Trust me, I'm not against that. But some of us need to heal. From trauma, from pain, from loss.
That's true.
from abuse.
Yeah. Yeah.
And these people, some of them did not heal, and now they've gone on to become parents. So imagine.
So it's just passing it down, and then we say
Yeah, I'm projecting it on their children.
it's generational behavior. It's not really.
Mm,
It's not really a cause. It's just because somebody did not work on it, and then it passed
mm.
to the other generation, and then it begins to pass on.
Yeah.
Wow, may God give us parents strength. I mean, as you say, the prayer you always pray. I always say, God, I don't know if I did well today, but please be
Help
good
me.
tomorrow.
You
Help
need to help me. Oluwa, help me. Help
me. I
me.
don't know. I've never figured my own
Help
life.
me. Oh.
How would I figure this one?
Yeah, I used to say sometimes I carry my son, Lord, please help me with my son. I do it. It's not being, it's not you looking weak. It's just
Yeah,
being vulnerable and say, Lord, I don't know.
I
Just
don't
help
know.
me
Yeah.
with this child. And there's nothing too small to talk to God about.
Oh
Like
yes, absolutely.
even help me with his feeding, help me with his health, help me
Yeah.
with his speech, help me with his sleeping,
Hmm.
help me. I'm always asking for help, please. I don't literally I don't have any other person to turn to than God actually. So
Yeah.
to say just Lord, please help me.
Yeah.
You need to help me.
Yeah. And thankfully, we don't have a father who said, I helped you yesterday. Go and figure it out today. As far as you keep asking, he will keep
Yeah, and
dishing out.
he will never say no
Yes.
to your request for help,
Yes.
especially when it concerns children. I will not say no.
Definitely.
That's
Definitely.
it.
Oh, wow. So, as parents, we have a lot of work to do to be able to figure out our
And
children.
it's a lifetime something. Sure, you know,
Yes.
you never
Yes.
stop being a parent, even when your children have children and their children have children and your children. As long as you're alive and you're a
Definitely.
parent.
Definitely. I mean, sometimes my mom someday calls me and asks me some questions. I'm like, Auntie, I'm not this thing now. I'm not a baby. Why are you asking me all these kind of questions?
But she still needs to. She's your mom.
She's your exactly.
And nothing must go wrong with you because she will
Yeah.
be questioned.
Yeah, that's so true. Yes, I mean you're so right on that. Sure. Let's quickly move on to the next question. I think we've answered the part on godly values and all of that. So first of all, we have to know ourselves as parents, and then we begin to transfer those values into our children. So there's this famous scripture that most people always quote when they want to discipline their child. Oh, foolishness is bound in the heart of a child. Is the rod? Is that rod part? Everybody's always hammering on the rod of discipline will drive it out. So I want to ask today, from your own perspective, what is actually this rod of discipline? What is it? So that we'll just be clear. Or what do you think is the rod of discipline that was being talked about here in order to discipline a child or correct a child?
Okay, thank you. Some people say that the rod can actually be a physical rod.
Yeah.
It can also be taking away privileges.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It can also be setting your child straight, can be the rod.
Yeah.
So now what the question is, what is your motive?
Hmm.
Why what is your intent? Are you using the rod, all those rods that I've just
Yeah.
classified,
Yeah.
to inflict pain? Are you doing it out of frustration,
Hmm.
out of anger,
Hmm.
or you just want to pass a message to correct an anomaly?
Hmm.
So once we have settled this, then you see that things will be better. So,
Hmm.
for example, a child is doing something wrong and you want to use the rod. For example, you want to spank the child
Hmm.
and you want to spank the child. So you said, bring your hand, and you gave the child like 2 strokes on the palm,
Hmm.
and the child is saying, and you've now said, do you know why I've spanked you? Because you did this and you did that, and I'm not happy with you. And the consequences for doing this, if you continue doing this and this will happen.
Yeah.
You want this and this to happen to you. And by the time you finish explaining, that child will even be sorry, like sober, and would not repeat it. Then again, so many parents abuse their children verbally,
Hmm.
and there's power in the tongue.
Yeah.
If you keep calling that child stupid, foolish, idiot, all these other words,
Hmm.
and you see that your child keeps behaving that way
That way.
because you are prophesying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you noticed that pastors of the whole, their children don't turn out well?
Hmm.
Why? Because in their anger, they have spoken heavy words over those children and forgetting that they carry the unction of authority as clergymen or women.
Yes.
So we have to be careful about what we say to our children. You don't body shame them. You see, a parent say, look at how fat you are. Look at your thin legs. Look at your big eyes. When God has said a child is fearfully
And
wonderfully made. And so imagine if that child goes out and another person is saying that, it just corroborates, and it's like they are right, and that child becomes bullied, and that child becomes depressed and sad, and that's on you. But if you've pumped up your child with so much affirmations and confidence, and, oh, you look so handsome, oh, my darling child, even if other people call him ugly, it will not settle, because every day you keep reminding this child that, look at how handsome you are, look at how tall you are, look at how blessed you are, you're so loaded, you cannot be put down. So that child is walking with shoulders high, and you be like, what? You see some children, it's not that they are they are all that, no, but because they have so much confidence, their parents have instilled so much. So you be like, and everybody did, and that confidence is contagious. Everyone now begins to like give them that respect, because they carry themselves with so much confidence and so much high level of esteem. So sometimes people beat their children, spank their children with the rod to bring them down, but you don't do that to bring a child down. So that you know, I'm the mother, I'm the father. No. My child, once I change I don't need to even beat my child, I just look at you. You know that this man is not laughing.
Yeah, not laughing,
No, I need to arrange myself. I need to, in the words of my children in school, I need to pattern up. I need to pattern up.
That's
Yeah,
nice.
I need to like arrange, give myself sense. Yeah. And sometimes you need to take away privileges. No internet, no phones, nothing. I don't even think a teenager or children should be having phones.
I was going to ask you that question at the end of the day, but good thing you brought it up.
I don't think. Why? My first phone was in 400 level.
That's what
my first internet-based phone.
Until I was how old?
But I was in 400 level when I had, that time, that touch BlackBerry.
Yes.
That time, that was it. And I didn't even subscribe till I graduated. I'm not used to it. I didn't subscribe. I was using one of the most expensive phone in my class, but I didn't even know. Just, hello, how are you? Fine. I'll receive call. I'll send texts. I'll go. I'll tell my dad that I'm in class, so I'm in this one. Or I'm coming home. That's it.
I mean, this was particularly, like, now that you just talked about it, that was actually one of the questions I was just going to ask you. Like, okay, I know this was not on the question, but what are your thoughts on this? And
no, you're just exposing them. No matter how many parental controls that you put in place, children have their way. We are raising smart children. And sometimes your child may be watching something innocent, and then pornography pops up. Do you know it pops up? And I was watching a video the other day. It said most of 80% of children exposed to pornography is the fact that they were forced, is because it popped up on their feed while they were watching something else. And they were inquisitive to follow.
Because I mean, that's their mind at that age. They want to know.
And that's why you need to be close to your children. You need to spend time with your children, quality time, because there's what they call the law of first mention. Once you mention it to your child first, and they don't get to hear it from outside, they'll say, my mom said this. No, you cannot say my mom is wrong or my dad is wrong.
That is true.
So you teach them sex education early in life. My son is 18 months, but when you want to watch his private part, he covers it. He will cover it. I'll say, let me just watch it. He will cover it. He will not allow you to touch it.
Which is
as young as he is. So you need to teach them which one is accessible to everybody, which one is not accessible to everybody.
The boundaries.
Teach them everything. And when you are correct with love. Let them not see you as an enemy. You are correcting this child. They know my mommy loves me. There's a way you correct a child. That child will come back to hug you and say, "Mommy, I'm sorry."
I'm sorry.
Yes, there's a way you correct that child. That child is, Mommy, I'm sorry. I don't, But when you keep talking to them anyhow, you keep making them feel less, they will be defiant. They'll become defiant. They'll become stubborn. They will become something else, and you will not be able to get through to them. They'll build a wall, blocking you out.
That is true. I mean, what you said about
Finally, pray, oh, pray.
we can't over. I mean, I was going to say that
You need to pray for the spirit of. You need to pray for the hearts of your children and speak to the spirit of that child. Do you know that this is just the container? So who we are is actually the soul
the
and spirit that we
spirit.
carry. So you speak to the spirit. You listen to me. You are. I've not raised a defiant child. I've not raised a stubborn child. I'm raising a godly child. I'm raising an excellent generation. I'm raising a child that's 10 times better than their contemporaries. Imagine that Joseph and the 4 Hebrew boys that went to Babylon, they were not with their parents.
Yes.
They were captured, yet they knew not to eat the king's meat. Joseph knew not to sleep with his master's wife, even though there was no church, no Holy Spirit, nothing, no teaching, no father, no mother, nobody to hold him accountable.
Yeah.
Intentional parenting.
Parenting is warfare.
It's warfare.
It is warfare.
There are sometimes I look at my child and I'm like, something is, I'm not, there's something, I start to pray. I just pray in tongues.
Yeah.
And so when I'm having prayer meetings and everything, I carry him. And I noticed that when I start to pray in tongues, it slips off. It's immersed in that.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, we can't overemphasize. We've already mentioned the angle that we are talking. We're not just talking about being an educator. We are talking about a well-rounded, godly child that at the end of the day that we know, because as you said, we are going to give answers to God about these children.
We're accountable.
We were talking in my kids' school, and then they were just talking about different things about, I mean, this whole LGBTQ movements and all of that. I mean, I always chip in my own opinion and say things like, my children, they are not mine. They are God's children. I'm supposed to give an account one day. God, believe it, or you guys believe it or not, we are going to all give account of these children.
Yeah.
To the person who actually indeed make them. We only just got them into this world and we're just stewards. Give account. So for now, if I'm not bringing that, because I was like, oh no, you should bring those kind of topics. I'm like, yes, in an age appropriate way.
Yeah, age. That is it.
Let the child live
appropriate.
Let
the age appropriate sex education. You don't need to go into the gory details.
Yeah. So find a way to talk about it. So first, for maybe like a 0 to 3 or 4 year old, you might what you're just teaching our child then his
body.
Yes, this is your body. This is what is out. This is what can't be touched. If someone does it, what do you do? And all of those things begin to teach at the end of the day. So I mean, the parenting academy also, and then they were talking about these things. And yesterday, I think they had a webinar, and I almost wanted to faint. The things I was seeing and hearing, the things they were saying that people are doing now. The parents have to start screaming and say, please stop. Don't show us video. We don't want. Don't show us video. It was bad. It was really, really bad. And I was just thinking to myself, I mean, fear wanted to come in. I said, no, knowledge, perfect love cassette out fear. I can't be parenting from fear, because that's another part again. People now start being afraid.
Especially those of us in the diaspora.
Yes.
You've come here and you're hearing so many laws and so many things, how children get taken away, and you're already
Yeah.
I don't parent my child from fear. I know that my child is not my child, is for God. And I receive wisdom. And I always say that God has seen that I am able to raise this child. That's why He actually gave him to me.
Exactly.
That I am capable of carrying out this assignment, and I will do it, and I will do it well.
Exactly.
So I'm not afraid of all these whims of other children from fearless parents. And then they, I will permit me to chip in this. I know I'm speaking to people that have just relocated to US, UK, Canada, Australia, wherever you've relocated to. I know that they've told you that if you work 20 something hours, you will get so amount, you multiply it, you convert it to your currency, maybe Nigerian naira, and then it's a lot of money. It's a trap and a lie from the pit of hell. Please don't run the rat race. Do the minimum, do normal, and then make sure that you have time for your kids. Don't leave your children for childminder. There's a lot going on. If you really need to hear, children are being initiated here as well into terrible cults, into you just come and your child will start telling you that they are no longer the gender that you gave birth to them as. They're literally changing their gender. There's nothing you can do. You're in a free country. So you need to be on top of your game in prayers, in counsel, in quality time, in everything. You need to be there. You need to poke your nose. Like I posted on my status, I said your child is always insisting on wearing long sleeve, not even when it is summer. Your child is always locked up in the room. You have not taken out time to open that door, go into the room, do a thorough search, ask your child to take off his shirt or her shirt, and then you unknowingly to your child is self-harming and is depressed, and then God forbid you just find that child nearly dying or dead in the room. Yes, it happens. Children commit suicide.
Oh God.
Yes, children commit suicide. Children get depressed. Children struggle with mental health as well. They have trauma. Some of them has been abused unknowingly to you and you don't know, and they're dealing with so much. So please, I know you have a target. You want to buy land back home. You want to get a mortgage. Those things are good, but then the apostle Paul says some things are lawful, but not all things are expedient. Please, your children are of utmost importance to you and to whatever plans. And some of us have said we have relocated because of our children. But at the end of the day, we don't have time for the children because of whom we have relocated for. So it's as good as fetching water in a basket. Please, 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 please. Please, I know that you have a target. You know that this is the amount that you want to save up by year end. It's good to save up. It's good to lay up earthly treasures, but you can't. The Bible says it's not good to wake up and eat the bread of sorrow. Doesn't make sense. Rest. See, if you're not well rested as a parent, you can't do anything. You come back, you're tired. You'll be grumpy. You'll be on the edge. But you need to be well rested to be a better parent. Rest, eat good food, wear good clothes, enjoy yourself. Spend time with your children. Okay, this is my phone. Oh. Sometimes I put my phone upstairs charging on purpose, and I'm downstairs listening to nursery rhymes with my child, and we are playing around, we are playing catch up, we are doing. People have called. You can call me. I'll return your call, but this time is for my child. Like that's why I told you that this meeting, let's have it before he's awake. Once he's awake, that's it.
That's it.
Literally.
Yeah. I mean, for the past, just to add to what you said, for the past maybe 2 weeks now, I've literally had my phone on silence, and it's just been bliss. It's not because maybe I'm trying to ghost anybody, but that I just realized that the phone noise, there was something, I don't know what it was doing. But I just used to be triggered, sort of, I hear this, or I hear, it's not coming. So I purposely just put it off. I just put it on silent. I don't want to hear anything. Most times I'm actually with my phone, but I didn't want that noise for the past 2 weeks, and I've just found out that I've literally been calmer.
My notifications don't even. Now you send me a message on Instagram. It took me time before I could. So let us please. I know it's a lot, but it's a lot. It's sacrifice. Actually, parenting is sacrifice. Let's sacrifice, and let's collaborate with our teachers. They're not your enemy. Work with them. Get feedback. Don't be angry. Don't be sad about the feedback they've given you. It calls for action. Further action. When you say, your child is struggling with maths, don't be angry. Don't say, it's because this child hates my son. No. Nobody hates your son. Nobody is because they're being racist. No. Just focus. Leave the person. Focus on the problem. And make sure that your child is better. So there's just a lot. There's just a lot to say.
I mean, we can't cover everything.
We can't.
If you want to leave it, we'll be here for 5 hours. And
we can't.
There's a lot of things, issues that we can cover or talk about. But before you go, let me ask you like the sort of the last bit just before we talk about your book. It's what do you say to your parents now that, okay, for example, you said they read to you. For me, I realized that mistake early on that I wasn't reading to my child. Thankfully, my second child came and he is more of a reader, and then the firstborn started to sort of read because of him. But someone who maybe it's a student child, a child who is not just listening, A child you've talked, you've done everything, you really said, I'll send you back to Nigeria, I'll send you back to Africa. And it just seems like nothing is working. Your parents is just frustrated and tired. Like, what kind of child did I give birth to? I was not like this. Where is this coming from? What do you want to say to that parent? What's that word of encouragement to that child to say, or that parent to say, you know what, stay alone?
First of all, don't give up.
Mm.
Hang in there. You're almost there. Don't give up. Hang in there. You're almost there. And like I said earlier, there is nothing too small to talk to God about.
Yes.
And sometimes you feel like everything is prayer. Everything is prayer when it comes to your children.
Yeah.
Actually, everything is prayer. I remember if you remember, so you see that our parents prayed so much.
Oh, yes.
They will anoint you. You're going to write the exam. Anointing will be flowing on all your face. They will pray for you. They'll give you communion. Yes. Why is that culture? Where is it fading away to? Pray. Talk to God and say, okay, God, I must have goofed in this area or that area, but help me talk to this child. See, the heart of kings, not just kings, the heart of children is in the hands of God.
Yes.
You see that with love and patience. I know you've been shouting, try love. Come from the standpoint of love. Don't, they say we listen, we don't judge. Don't judge this child. Don't always listen to always have something bad to say about that child. This child is your child. Your child. You can remember the love and the joy that you felt when you carried this child for the very first time.
Yeah.
When you met him or her for the first time. So go back, love, and that's why God is love. Love is God.
Yes.
So when you love this child, genuinely, not fake love, not buying things. We're not saying buying things. I'm not saying that's not love. Showing concern, being there. Oh, do you have any event in your school you attend? You go for parents evening.
Yeah.
You speak. You are there. They need you, mom. Can I have my friends over? Yes, so that you know the kind of friends that they have.
Yeah.
And they come and mommy, can I do this one? Don't always say no without explanation. So can I do this? So build little by little, you begin to build a kind of friendship with that child so that you can get through to that child. Some children think that their parents hate them. It's not that you hate them, it's the way you relate to them.
Everything is no. Do this.
So there are sometimes that if you have like 3 children, that particular child, take that child out for a date, just you and that child. It doesn't have to be like you're breaking bank or you are spending out of your budget. It can be like a walk to the store. You're getting things instead of you using the car and it's trackable. You can just walk it, you know, and he or she is with the with the shopping bag and everything, or the shopping trolley, and you walk down. From there, you point out to things, and then you begin to talk. You listen, active listening, not just listening. And your mind is somewhere. You're saying okay, and you're following, and they're telling you about school, about what. Don't say, you did this one. Relax, listen very well, so that you collect all the evidence in your hands, and then one by one, you begin to treat it. That's why you need a journalist as a parent. Have a journal. Okay, my son said this. How do you sit down with God? Okay, this thing that my child has said, I don't think it's right, but teach me how to go about it. See, the prayer of wisdom, God never says no to the prayer of wisdom. Yeah. The Bible says wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, give, and in all thy gettings, get understanding. So ask God. So as you'll be noting them that don't attack. You say, oh, that's good. Hi, my friend, we went to a party, they smoked, they did this one. Oh wow, you're noting things down.
Yeah.
For the days you will now ask this question, that child is not expecting that question.
Yes.
Unaware. So do you smoke? Just say, Mom, why do you ask that? I'm just asking. Just simple questions, simple, innocent. Actually, no, just relax. Let me know what's going on. And then, oh, well, my friends actually introduced it to me in school. Okay, no problem. So, do you think it's good? I mean, you start to open scriptures, open facts. This is what happens to those that. Is this how you want to live your life? Do you want to be addicted to it? Is this something you would like to be? Is this something that you would like your own child to also do? No, by the time you small like that, and after you've sowed that seed in the heart of that child, go back to God again in
Yes.
prayer.
Yes.
Until I remember the one case that I treated last year was case of pornography. A 13-year-old boy was addicted to pornography, and the mother was crying, a single mom, everything. And I was like, "What time do you get back from her?" She said 11. I said, what do you think should keep this child busy
Yeah.
from 4 o'clock after school till 11? And they are with childminder. Childminder is to keep your child safe. Is it to instill values in the life? So cut down your working hours, have time, do this on monitor. And by the time they had that conversation and they gave me, I spoke to him and we had several sessions. And then after that, one day he called me and said that he no longer watches
Wow.
by himself, yeah.
Wow.
And he's actually better person. His mom was like, my son is a better person, man.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So many people I know we have a single mom and they are hurting, they have
Yeah.
a lot of traumas, they are dealing with marital problems. Don't project it on your children. In fact, don't involve them. Don't tell them, oh, this thing, see what your daddy did. You are taking away their childhood from them. Allow your child to be a child.
Yeah.
Your father did this one, your mother did this one. You now begin, the child will be confused. Who should I love? My father, my mother, who should I believe? That
Yeah.
thing messes up with their brain, and it messes up their emotion. And because they want to block that experience from their mind, they resort to smoking, other vices to heal that bad feeling that they're experiencing at home. So there are a lot. So that if I were that mom, I've told you, relax. So I've just given you instances, but I'm saying that you need to also go back to yourself as well. If you need therapy, if you need to heal, if you need to do group therapy with that child, go for it. How much will they collect? It's not more than maybe it's not up to 2 days or 3 days worth of work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how much will they charge you? You can do group therapy with your children. You can do, and then when they're talking to an outsider with you with a goal of healing and becoming better, everyone will cooperate.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Oh wow. This has been so good. Honestly, I've learned so much. I think the part for me where you said, "Oh, journal." I think I've been storing some things in my head. I've been trying to, because of the two kids, I sort of know who can do what. But that intentionality that you mentioned about actually writing those things down to say, this person told me this today. Revisit it maybe 2 weeks.
in prayers,
Yes. When
my
the
son,
person,
I bought a journal for my son. When part of what I took to the hospital, apart from clothes, feeding bottles, was a journal for
wow.
my son. Prophecies over him written there. What it was weighing, when he said the first word, when he took his first step,
Wow.
what he said, what he did, how he gave me a hug when I was feeling bad. Yeah, it's there.
Wow. That is so intentional.
And do you know the funny thing? I learned that from a colleague at work here when I was working in care, who is not even a Christian.
Wow.
Yeah. So everything they say and then she said to me, when a child is 10, she will hand it over to him.
Oh wow. That is so thoughtful, because some of the things that when they asked me what was my first word, I can't remember because I didn't write it down. I never wrote it down. I remember what you said, but I'm like, when they asked me what day, I said what day, Bawo. I cannot remember the day
So
because
some people actually document and then like that. So
I'm going to definitely start that. I mean, that's
yeah, it's not too late. Actually, it's not too late.
I'm going to actually start that. Just begin to write
And
things
you can teach them, since yours are a bit grown, you can buy them journals, let them write. Then you are able to know what they are thinking in their brain. One of these days, read them, you'll be shocked.
Yeah.
Telling you.
Yeah. I mean, one day my son was writing, he was just writing, I don't know, an essay or something. His older brother was asked to write. So he was just writing to him. And then he wrote, "Oh, my daddy likes to walk." Because anytime he goes to his daddy, his daddy say, "I'm at work. I'll come back later. I'm at work." And that's literally what he wrote in his journal. Or in the paper that he was writing.
I had a child that said my daddy makes the money and my mommy spends it. So,
Oh, wow.
but that's what's going on. Children are innocent. Don't forget, they don't have filter. Like they don't have a filter in their brain to say this is what you're supposed
They
to
say
say.
it as it is.
As it is, yeah, literally.
That's true. Okay, just I know that we have just few minutes, like 5 minutes left. I can't even thank you enough. You know, I can't thank you enough for doing this already. You literally just came in to work and then from work and started to do this. But I wanted to talk about your book, David, The Adventures of David and His Mighty Friends. And I've already told you offline, but I'm just going to say it again online. I particularly like that the book tells me, it gives me an action, call to action. You know what they're saying? Content creation. What's the call to action? After it's what am I supposed to do? So I particularly like the fact that it has a call to action. Okay, we've read about David killed Goliath. What am I supposed to kill a Goliath now? What am I supposed to do? And that is very fantastic. It's very related. I can't wait to read it with my kids. I'm just waiting for them to be done with the one that the plan they're on now, and then just starting with them. But I think that's one thing that has been missing, which you have honestly really addressed in just giving children, giving their own experience, their own thoughts to some of these things. You know, the Bible, we can't take anything out of it and we can't put anything back. So it's the practicality of it is what I really, really like. And it's obvious is an educationist that wrote it because that part you hardly see. So can you just tell us a bit about the book?
Yeah, I started to write the book early last year when I got a burden, and the burden I kept hearing "save my children" in my spirit,
Wow.
and then it started to come together in pieces. Like I got I got the idea, then I employed a story teller. Yeah, a lot went into that book. I got a storyteller to storify it. Then I got an illustrator to do the illustration and an editor to edit it. So many things went into the book. But one of the things what was one of the motivation for the book is to get age appropriate morning devotional content. So we can't get our children reading Open Heavens.
Yeah.
Or even if it's not, and some children, because it attends to different type of child, like the one with learning disability, the one with everything. Literally, even it helps with fine skill, gross motor skill. Yeah, as a child, even your toddler, you can easily tell the colors are so cool to the eyes that they're able to pick out, they're able to know the difference. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot of thought went into that book. It was a thoughtful book for a child, like a gift, and I wrote it in my son's voice, like so that it would be like a child leading other children to Christ.
Yes, that's amazing. I noticed that also, that it wasn't like, oh, mommy speaking or
no, it was a child.
Yes.
Like it was a child who was having devotional with his mom. Now gathering. That's why the book is The Adventures of King David and His Mighty Friends, the creational story. So I know that different other sequels will come in, and then it's a book that even when the adults read it, they were like they encountered God as adults, as in it spoke to them.
Wow.
Yeah, they spoke to them. Talk less of children. So it's it's a gift from God to humanity. And when I first started reading, when I was about launching the book, I was thinking, so when I now send 1 million, Holy Spirit now said, well done. So it's the money you're looking out for. Well done. And then he redirected my mind to kingdom. There are children that need to read this one. That's why in a few days, my team and I will be launching an outreach where we want to print as many copies as we can.
Wow.
Excuse me, to give to children in low income communities. Just give it. Let everybody encounter it.
Wow. So if people
Correct.
want to support that initiative, do you mind just sharing?
Yeah, very soon we'll be launching it out
Okay.
soon. I mean, before the end of this week, we'll be launching our the link to support.
Yeah.
You can buy as many. I think one book costs, because of the pictures, and the printing is actually more expensive because it's not black and white. I want the pictures to actually come with colors, and so let's say a book is 5,000. Okay, so I'm buying for 10 children. That's like 50K. So I'm buying for. So it depends on how many children you have in mind that you want to impact. I'm buying for one child. That's like 5K. So that's it. So.
Okay. I'm not sure
So
when.
I would be this week we're working on back and forth on the technicalities, and then we want to launch it so that as soon as we get enough funds, we will not wait till as soon as we can print for 200, we'll go ahead and do the 200. If we have more money, we continue. It's going to be a continuous action all through the year until we get a release to stop.
Okay. That I'm not sure when this video will go up. Maybe this week or next week, but definitely I'll ask you for the details so that I can put it in the caption. I'll put your Instagram handle. Please follow Pursuit of Excellence on Instagram. If you want to follow Dr. herself, you can follow us also at Dr. Oluwayemisi. Everything in the caption, in the description. I can't thank you enough. I can't thank you enough. It's funny how just God. She's in the bathroom, I get most of my ideas, and then he just tells me a name sometimes. Or do this series, start with this one, do this one, start with that one. I said, is this podcast? I just want to what's this podcast turned into? This was not the plan. But again, I just always allow God to lead. And I don't know if you've noticed, like this year, there's really sometime late last year, I have a prayer partner. I used to pray over kids on Friday nights and all of that. But there's been a lot of emphasis on children in this. A lot of emphasis on children. I don't know what it is. I don't know what is coming, but there has been a lot of emphasis from different sources.
Yes,
know each other.
Yes.
Still on.
So I've said it's no longer about the profit. It's no longer about. It's just about getting to the right quarters.
Yes. I pray that Lord will bless your endeavor. It will expand in ways that you do not even know of. I pray for help for you. Help from known sources, help from unknown sources.
Amen.
Places you do not even expect. Even help from this platform. Because we're not doing this thing because we want views. My idea of the conversation of this podcast is to be able to bring out people who they are doing great work, but you might not know on Instagram. You might think, oh, they just have 1,000 followers. What is this one saying? It's the people that have 100,000. Hey, you go. There are many people that are doing work here and there that is on the day that God comes, or we meet God, that you'll be hearing, welcome, my good and faithful servant.
Like this one.
Saying this one, exactly. So I pray that God really helps you. Thank you so much for your passion. Even the way you are talking, you can feel the passion. If we didn't have a timer for this thing, we'll just be firing on.
Yeah, I'm happy to come here. Thank you so much, Dami. It's such a rare privilege. I'm grateful to God. I give God all the glory, and I'm willing to come in to do more. And one of the things that I would like to, if you have a community, I don't know if you have a community, but I don't know. I'm led to say that I am giving your community, if you have a community of women with children or intending parents, so just five of them, free 30 minutes consultation.
Oh no!
So just because you've called me to be on your platform, so if you know them, you know the people that would actually really need it. So as soon as you you send this out, then you can then choose your 5. And then I'll send you my website link. So once they register, I'll get you on my own back end, and then I'm able to then book a session with them, and then we can, because at the end of the day, it's not about the money, it's about let's just save these children.
Oh wow. I mean, I never expected this.
I don't know. Me too. I didn't plan it. It just came to my spirit and said,
Just said
let it be.
your name just popped up in my call Yemisi and do this thing. And that's I've learned and always said once it just tells me call this person, I just go ahead. I don't even bother and just go ahead to do it.
Yes. So let's get it. Let's get it sorted. Let's work. You know, let's save these children. The most important thing is it pleasing to God. So it's not about money. I used to think, oh, money, but God said, this is my kingdom. Matthew 6:33.
Yes.
Looking forward to the kingdom of God.
Yes.
So sis, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So yeah. So
God bless you so much.
you're welcome.
Guys, there you have it. I'll probably discuss the modalities of how we pick the 5 and all
That's
of that.
on you.
But
that's on you. That's your responsibility. I'm not gonna be burdened. I don't want to be burdened. Can't be burdened.
No problem. I'll sort that out. Thank you so much once again. Thank you, everybody. Please like, put your comments, share, follow,
subscribe.
Follow her on Instagram. Follow me also on Instagram.
Yes, and subscribe to our YouTube channel and listen to previous episode.
Yes.
Yeah, you need to.
Yes, and please listen to your favorite teacher podcast. Trust me.
Yeah.
Those 5 minutes is you can listen to it in the car when you're taking your kids to school.
So you do listen?
Yes, I do listen. Yes, I do listen.
Oh yeah, I think I saw your comment one time like that. I'm like, I see.
You've not put anything up in a while.
Yeah, well, my sister, thanks for the gentle reminder. Not so gentle reminder. I'll get back to it. Yeah, because this whole thing of putting the book together, the website, we're doing a lot of work. So I'm just getting my website sorted. It's live. So I'm going to resume back the podcast and God has already given me the ideas, and once He has given me the idea, I move.
Amazing. We will conquer all this mountain of
lands. Yes, nations are waiting. Children all over the world.
Yes. Thank you so much again.
Thank you.
God bless
you. Thank you.
All right, then have a good evening.
And you, when thank
you. Everyone. See you on the next one.
Bye.